Good morning, traders. It is Thursday, 8:02 a.m. Chicago time, July 30th, 2015. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance not indicative of future results. I'm a little bit under the weather today. Got a really terrible headache, so I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. Overnight news, European equities are mixed to higher, adding to, hang on, sorry. This morning, German and Spanish CPIs are slow in July. Asian indices were mixed as traders digest the implications of marginal changes in the latest FOMC statement. Gold is lower, oil is higher, US dollars lower versus the pound, higher versus the yen, and higher versus the euro. The FOMC announced yesterday they said rates are to rise after some further job market improvement. Some being the word that's added. We're playing a word game with the Fed now for years. It reiterates that risks to the economy and job outlooks nearly balanced. Housing sector has shown additional improvement. Labor market continues to improve with job gains solid. The vote was 10-0. Remember that the Fed will have a lot more information to go on for the September meeting, which is when the first rate adjustment's expected. In the September meeting, they'll have a couple of GDPs. One of them came out today. A couple of non-farm payrolls as well. Saudi Arabia is to lower production after the summer. Production will be near 10 million barrels per day through to the end of the year. The Saudi oil minister says that he expects oil prices to stabilize, but we've heard that one before. This morning, Q2 advanced GDP annualized came in at 2.3%, worse than the 2.5% expected. Personal consumption came in better, 2.9 versus 2.7. Initial claims this morning came in at 267,000 versus 270,000, so slightly better. Continuing claims came in at 2.262 million versus 2.21 million, slightly worse. Looking at what's ahead of us, not much. We have EI natural gas storage at 9:30 Central, expecting 56 billion cubic feet. And then other than that, really there isn't much going on after the market earnings. Looking at L'Oreal and Amgen. But that's about it. Expecting this to be a fairly quiet session, to be honest with you. I did expect chop yesterday. If we go back and look at what was predicted yesterday, I was looking for a choppy opening. Let's look at it. I was looking for a choppy opening. Was expecting a higher high given the incomplete auction that was left behind on Tuesday. Looking for market to push higher and then retrace some of the gains to be stuck in prior days VPOC. So the overall picture for yesterday was for us to open choppy just like we did, expecting it to take out the 93.75 area to test it. Chop, 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 and then come down and chop around until the FOMC comes along. And the FOMC, I gave a range, a very wide range actually. The FOMC range was 2103.75 with an extended target of 2106. That was yesterday's hypo. 2103.75 is way up here. By the way, I want to remind you as you watch this Trader Bite, be sure to go to the bottom right corner where it says HD and it has a little settings wheel, and select 1080p to get the full resolution so you can see the numbers. I know on 720 it's a little more difficult to see. I was reviewing yesterday's video and it auto selects 720 even though I'm broadcasting in 1080. It's just a little bit more clarity. It's I'm not trying to be anal about it. But yesterday, looking for 2103.75. I'll show you where I came up with that. And then I looked down as far as 2073 on a really surprising release. The 2073 would bring us down into the, this comes from the single prints, it brings us down into this area down here on Tuesday's profile. What actually happened is we opened, we went down and tried to test the point of control, chop, 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 and then we pushed through the prior day's high right here, and we just never looked back, and we continued to push into the 2103.75. We stopped short of it here, came all the way back, and then ultimately on the FOMC, it pulled all the way back, and then ultimately it found buyers. Very difficult trade right here. Didn't find this easy to get on at all. I did look for that 2103, so I was looking for 2099 first. 2099 got missed by a tick here. I did a webinar for Stage 5 Bookmap, S5 Bookmap yesterday, and I went over what the entrance trigger for that was, and why I expected 2099. There was a huge offer there that finally got pushed through on the FOMC here. And then it finally failed back through, retested back here, pulled back, and then finally pushed through. Pretty noisy trade. Not a fan of yesterday's trade at all. Although I could see what it's trying to do, I didn't find very clear advantageous points to jump on. How do I come up with the 2103.75? Notice that excuse me. Notice that today's overnight session high is 2103.50 right here. That's the overnight high. But the 2103.75 is the high volume node. The last high volume node before we slide into the 12, which was 1250 before, the 12 CLVN, which is the next key area to test. It's also, the 2103 is also the low volume node that separates the lower distribution from last Thursday from the upper distribution. So what happened last week is that Thursday we started to balance pretty well on the open. So we had a very tight day on Wednesday, very tight balancing day on Wednesday, unable to test the prior day's point of control right here at 2112.75. And then the next day, it started off with a very choppy open right here, and we built this nice even balance, and then we broke through. We finally broke through it right down here, and then we created a second balance. That line in the sand is 2103. Oh, can't draw on that thing. And that's why it was yesterday's target. Still looking for it today. Overnight high is 2103.50. We sold off on the overnight session once we made that high, so this is looking slightly weak. It looks like sellers are starting to come out of the woodwork at these prices, are becoming motivated at these prices. So when we look at the overnight session high, we see that the Asian session didn't do much of anything at all, and then the European session came in with sellers right here. We see this in the Euro stocks and the DAX as well, and then we had a nice little rally to 2103.50, and then it has sold off since and is pushing against the overnight low of 2092.50. Remember, 2093.75 is still a key figure in this area. It's the MC point of control. With this trend coming in, for most of the night, inventory was short, then it was balanced, then it's short again. However, with this trend coming in for today, the key idea is again looking for a choppy open. To start us out. I'm looking for a test of this 2099 area again. The LVN from yesterday. It's also near the Fed high. The initial Fed high, which was up here. I'm looking for this to act as resistance, and for it to test this. If it does, to roll over and start looking at what's going on below. So currently we're trading down here. Basically what I'm saying for Hypo 1 is what I'd like to see, the primary trading idea, the probable idea is that it starts to push its way back up into the 20.99, and the overnight point of control is at 98.50, and I'm looking for it to find resistance here, chop a little bit, try, and then lose its bid for it to start moving back down towards this point of control. Down here becomes the primary target, and the secondary target is 20.8250. For now, that gives us pretty much 20 points of range or so, 15 points of range for the day. That's what I'm looking for today. I'm not looking for new highs today above 21.04 quarter. That would be Hypo 3 actually. Hypo 2 is likely to be a push lower into the overnight low, a push back towards 20.99, an attempt at 2100, chop, 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 and then roll over again. Both Hypo 1 and 2 looking for tests lower. Hypo 3 is a push down, pushes into this, finds buyers on the pullback, and then starts to push up into 21.04 quarter, and then new highs. And then the next target up is 21.06 from this composite. I'll show you where that comes from. 21.06 is right here. This is the most traded price since the new high was put in, and for this entire swing back up is 21.06. So that's the next target up above 21.0375. One last thing, I did not produce the Trade Wisdom video on success in trading. I'm in the process of doing it. There was just too much going on yesterday, too many webinars and things like that. So I apologize. I like to put things out as promised, but I just couldn't get to it. So it's a priority for today. I'll put this video out. I think it's important for folks to watch. You'll be able to grab the embed code, put it in your blog posts, or link it to whomever you see fit. But I think it's an important piece to listen to set your expectations and to know what you're in for when it comes to trading, based on my experience with prop traders and of course having to learn my way through trading 3 times basically: equities, high volume, high frequency scalping in futures, and a more structured approach to futures. I've had to build myself up multiple times when it comes to trading. Good luck today. I'll catch you later.